Biggest NHL Busts featuring Gord Kluzak, 1982. Gord Kluzak was the first overall pick in the 1982 NHL Entry Draft, selected by the Boston Bruins, and spent his entire NHL career with the Boston Bruins. He was known for his size and physicality. Kluzak was seen as a strong stay-at-home defenseman, but is ultimately remembered for unfulfilled potential due to his chronic injuries. As the first overall pick in the 1982 NHL Entry Draft, Gord Kluzak was a major bust because not only did he fall short of expectations, he was picked ahead of some potential Hall of Fame defensemen. In this episode of Biggest NHL Busts, I talk about why Gord Kluzak is one of the biggest busts of all time and what could have been done to prevent it. Gord Kluzak was highly regarded leading up to the 1982 NHL Entry Draft, generating significant hype due to his impressive performance and physical attributes. Kluzak played for the Billings Bighorns of the WHL. His performances in the WHL, particularly his defensive skills and physical presence, garnered significant attention. At 6'4", 215 pounds, Kluzak had an imposing physical presence, which was highly valued in the NHL at the time. Scouts and analysts praised his ability to use his size effectively at both ends of the ice. He was known for his leadership qualities on and off the ice, serving as captain and demonstrating maturity beyond his years. As the top-ranked defenseman in the draft, Kluzak was compared to other elite defensemen of his era. He was expected to become a cornerstone for whichever team selected him. Leading up to the draft, Kluzak received considerable media hype. Analysts and commentators would frequently discuss his potential and the significant impact he could have in the NHL. Scouting reports highlighted his all-around game, physical attributes, and leadership, making him a consensus top pick in the draft. The Boston Bruins, who held the first overall pick in the 1982 draft, saw Kluzak as the player who could immediately make an impact on the roster and provide long-term stability on the blue line. As a result, this made Gord Kluzak a no-brainer as the number one pick in the 1982 NHL draft for the Boston Bruins. Gord Kluzak made his NHL debut in the 1982-83 season as he put up 7 points in 70 games and helped the Bees make the playoffs. He would also record 5 points in 17 playoff games. Kluzak missed full seasons after knee surgeries in 1984-85 and 1986-87, which really hindered his growth and development as a player. In every season where Kluzak played at least 65 games, he would put up at least 30 points in every season. However, he would only be able to play in at least 65 games 4 times in his career. One of his best seasons came in the 1987-88 season when he played in 66 games, scored 6 goals and 31 assists, and also had 12 points in the 1988 playoffs. His career was significantly affected by chronic knee injuries. These injuries led to multiple surgeries and long periods of rehab, severely limiting his playing time. Following the 1988 season, Kluzak only played in 13 more NHL games until he had to retire at the young age of just 27 years old, and having played just 299 NHL games. In 299 career regular season games, Kluzak scored 25 goals, 98 assists, and 123 points. Why is Gord Kluzak a bust? Being selected first overall in the draft comes with high expectations for performance and impact. Kluzak was expected to be a franchise player for the Boston Bruins and cornerstone of their defense. While Kluzak had moments of strong play, his overall impact on the Bruins and the NHL was limited compared to what was expected from a first overall pick. Ultimately, he is often considered a bust in the context of the NHL draft, primarily due to his inability to fulfill the expectations set for a first overall pick, largely due to his chronic injuries. Defensemen drafted in the first round in the 1982 draft, such as Scott Stevens and Phil Housley, went on to have Hall of Fame careers, further highlighting Kluzak's inability to reach his potential. Other players such as Brian Bellows, Gary Nyland, and Ron Suter also went on to have successful NHL careers. Due to his injuries, Kluzak could not consistently demonstrate the skills and leadership qualities that made him a top pick, leading to the perception of unfulfilled potential. He retired early in 1990 at the age of 27, which also contributed to the perception of his career as a bust. What could prevent Gord Kluzak from being a bust? Well, Gord Kluzak had knee injuries dating back to his days with the Billings Bighorns of the WHL. Though the injury did not severely hurt his draft stock, it was a sign of things to come. Kluzak's knee problems persisted throughout his entire career, preventing him from playing consistently, so I don't know if there's anything that could be done to prevent that from happening. And unfortunately for Gord Kluzak, him ending up a bust has little to do with not being able to play at a high level, but due to chronic injuries. Even if he gets drafted to a different team, being a taller defenseman, it would put him in a greater risk to sustain those knee injuries. While he had the talent and potential to be a standout defenseman, his chronic knee injuries prevented him from reaching the heights expected of a first overall draft pick.